Ricky Hatton, one of your idols growing up. Obviously, came from the same boxing club as we are at Sale. You've got your own Ricky Hatton story. Like Bunty was saying, people had their stories when they went to Vegas to see him. You've got your own story when he woke you up from a nap to give you advice. What did he tell you? Do you remember it?
I was only younger, so my dad went out with me. No, Ricky Hatton went out with my dad having a few pints and that, and I was having a sleepover with my cousin, and we're sleeping in the living room on the couch. And obviously, when they've come in from a night out, they've come into the living room, and he's sat at the end of my feet in the living room when I was on the sofa. And I woke up, and I always remember he had a leather jacket on with like the British flag on his back in like diamonds and all that. And I remember just showing him like my boxing room that I had and pictures of him and stuff. And I've known him anyway from the gym as a little kid. So yeah, they're my sort of memories with Ricky.
I'll say you idolised Ricky growing up. He's obviously every sort of kid's in Manchester dream hero growing up when they're boxing and stuff. Did it give you pride wearing the Hatton boxing logo on the Sale vest?
Yeah, definitely 100% when I was a kid, and in the gym itself there was the Hatton logos on the bags, and yeah, it was everything I was seeing 24/7. And I remember when he boxed Mayweather and Pacquiao, and I was crying my eyes out as a kid watching it with my dad. So he's always had a place in my heart, Ricky Hatton, and I've always looked at him just wanting to be him really.
What's it like to learn and apply a lot of your professional trade around Ricky Hatton?
Yeah, it was great as a young kid. It was probably one of the main reasons I got into boxing. I used to follow all of his fights. I'd get up for his American fights. If he was boxing at the arena or at the Etihad, I'd have tickets. I'd go. My first pair of boxing shorts from CZ Wong were Hatton replica. And then it's to the point now where he's done a lot for me. I consider him a friend, and like I say, it was a bit surreal at times when it become normal just to be around him, and you kind of forget how big he is and the impact he had on so many people. And every now and then there'll just be little reminders, whether you see something on the TV, one of his old fights, or like the documentary that was out not long ago, and you'd think like, wow, he was massive. It was massive. For British boxing, he's probably one of the greatest British boxers of all time, and it was great to have him on as part of the team.
If you'd gone back to say a 10-year-old Brad Rea and said to him, one day you'll be training alongside Ricky Hatton in his gym, you'd have laughed, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%. It seemed kind of like so far away when you're a young kid. But then as I got a little bit older, everything kind of progressed and happened so quickly that next thing you know, I'm at his 40th birthday party, or like I was sitting for him something, you know what I mean? It is surreal.
I'll give you a little side story. On the Monday night after every fight, we always went out, but it was like probably 6 of us. So Matthew Hatton, Ricky Hatton, myself, a couple of the clubs. So it was a little unique spot of people. And Ricky had been out all day Sunday. I had a bodybuilding at the show on that Sunday I had to go to. And we met up in Manchester about 5 o'clock Monday night. And we ended up in a club called Long Legs, which, as you can probably imagine, is a lap dancing club, you know what I mean, in Chinatown. So we were all having a drink in Long Legs. And I was at the bar. I went to the bar to buy some drinks. And 2 monstrous men, walked in and walked straight up to the bar. And they had big Texan cowboy boots on, the big buckle belts on the presumably Levi jeans, and they actually had the big cowboy hats on, and they looked down on me, and I went, "You all right, lads?" And they went, "Yeah, man, yeah." And they said something complimentary about Manchester. So I said, "You're far from home, aren't you guys?" So they went, "Yeah, we're big fight fans. We came in for the fight, the Costa Zoo Ricky Hatton fight." I said, "Oh, did you?" Yeah. So they said to me, "Did you go?" So I went, "I was in the corner." And they went, "Hey, you were in the corner. What's he like?" And I pointed to Ricky, and he's having a lap dance he's having a lap dance. Right, I think he's got one black eye and everything, and he's having a lap dance. I went, holy shit, you know what I mean? And then I called him over and I went, Ricky, these guys are from Texas. They flew in for the fight. And one of the Americans with the Stetson on said, let me buy you a drink, Ricky. And Ricky went, no, let me buy you a drink. And Ricky bought them a drink. So can you imagine them going back to America, fight fans, you know what I mean? So, little stories like that. So that's what made him so pleasing to a lot of people.